Hi everybody, it is February 1st, Monday. I want to make this video about physical ailments, things like that. I think kind of what I was touching on last time was I'm just going to tell you kind of what they've told me, so you guys can, as usual, take it or leave it. But um, because we are part of Source, and like I've explained that before, we're all sparks of Source. um, that when we go out into the galaxy or into the universe, or whatever, we it's kind of like personal growth or experiences that we all want to do. But in reality, it's like I said, it's more like we all want to experience things. But as you can imagine, we can't do everything that we want. It's almost like we pick some person to do that. Like, okay, you know what? I don't think I can. I don't think I'm going to be a race car driver. So how about you be a race car driver and you record everything, and then I'll experience your experience. So it's kind of what we do as well. It's experience on a grand level, and we're all having multiple experiences. But in reality, we all gain from it, and it's like, well, hey, you be a helicopter pilot, and I'll be a mountain climber or whatever, whatever. Or it's like, well, you know what, I want to teach children. Okay, that's a cool experience. You do that. So we're all out here doing different things and different experiences, but we all get to share in that. But to try to say it in a simple way is like, well, Source or God experiences all that. But in reality, we're all part of God or Source. So we're all experiencing each other's experiences to a certain extent. It's kind of complex. But anyway, what I was going to touch on is, for instance, everybody's always worried about, not worried about, but the reality of our physical bodies they break down and they give us pain. There's just disease and suffering. Well, okay, that goes into the dark side. Because when we come in here, normally, when you come into any one of these realities, like I said, the Mars is a reality, Venus is a reality. If you go into them, not only do you have to be tuned into that frequency to exist there, but you also have to acclimate yourself to that situation, which means you have probably a different body, depending on the gravity and all that stuff. No, but it's a different avatar, is what it is. So you can experience that. So normally, they're just like Earth, all the secrets to you surviving really well are on that planet. So in other words, there's plants there that'll heal you for things. There's the type of water, what's in the water, or whatever. There's so many variables and so many variations of that. I think you get the gist of that. But coming back to Earth, our particular problems, well, going back to old videos that I've made before, and our ongoing problem here is this system has been hacked by dark entities. So, and they okay, I'm just going to say it as simple as possible. They survive on our pain and our suffering. They are the yin and the yang. They are the opposite of us, whatever we are. And that's another huge explanation I'll get into someday. Actually, I'm going to make a note of that to explain that. But yeah, because I don't want to stay off, get off topic pretty easy. But okay, so when they were telling me this information, and like I said, it's not about, hey, I found some new information. It's literally waking up to old, really old information, probably zillions of years old. But we all have amnesia and we forgot about it. But it's like how this universe works and everything. But they were telling me that the situation we are in is bad because in other words, they're saying don't listen to your mainstream medical advice. They just told me that outright. And it's not as if the people involved in it, like doctors and stuff, gotta remember they go to school. They're taught how to treat human beings. They're taught our anatomy, and they were taught, okay, if this happens, that happens. Reaction, action, reaction, whatever. So, but what, I guess kind of what they're not privy to is, in other words, they have no ill intent. They're not part of the system in that way. They're part of the medical system, which isn't necessarily good for it. It really isn't necessarily good for us, you guys. We should be all going back to the old medicine men, shamans, like really back to the basics. And that's why in the 20th century, they tried to get rid of that completely. They don't want natural homeopathic healings. They don't. So they called it science. So they said, don't be doing this witchcraft stuff. You guys stick to science. And they know how to make things look right, on paper. But in reality, no, our bodies should be managed differently. Let me put it that way. So also I wanted to talk about the concept that they told me is we're all programmers to this hologram. So if this is my avatar and this avatar can be programmed, then why not me? Because I'm attached to me, I could probably program my own particular avatar. So okay, I started to experiment with this. First of all, the first thing I did was when I woke up to this. I mean, it was slow because I first caught on to this probably about 20 years ago, about the year 2000. I kind of started putting two and two together with the medical industry, going, well, first of all, it's just kind of common sense to me because what I realized was, if something happens to you, it's like whether you got an upset stomach or kidney stones or whatever. When you go to a doctor, what they generally do is they identify the problem, and then they'll probably just give you some pills for the pain or whatever. But my point is what they do is they tell you how your body's going to heal itself in a sense. So they go, well, okay, well, just take these pills and then come back in a week. And it's like, okay, so now I'm paying for your advice to stay at home and heal. So I started doing 2 and 2 equals 4. I started doing the math going on that. Is, in a sense, all they're really doing is they're more educated in our bodily functions and things like that. So they tell us how our body heals. Even for instance, a broken leg or a cut or something, what they do is, they'll, even if they stitch it or put it in a brace or anything, but you know what's really happening? Your body is healing itself. Your body has a self-healing program. I can cut my finger, put a Band-Aid on it. 2 weeks later, I can't even see where it was cut. So I started doing the math on that. Anybody can figure that one out. Our bodies have their own self-healing program. It's an ongoing program. It runs constantly, 24/7. So realizing that, I'm going, well, then so I don't really have to go to the doctor because all they're doing is just showing us or sort of assisting, if they can, your body to heal itself. So ultimately, the real medicine is your body, understanding your body, how it can heal itself. So that's where, for instance, homeopathic or natural remedies work. They work better They really do. So I started realizing it. It's like, well, wait a minute. Okay, well then the whole point about that would be, what do I do to try to take care of my own avatar? How do I do that? So, and back then, my guides, call it your little voice in your head, said research as much as you can, figure out things like that, and then so what I came across, and like I said, this is 20 years ago, and it was probably my guides too, because they were talking to me back then. I just didn't realize that was my own thoughts in my head or something. But for some reason, they said it's about what you, if you want to maintain your body, besides the physical injuries you get, it's all about what you eat. It's really about your diet. And most human beings, as we know, we're not taught to eat for health. We eat for taste. We go, oh man, that's good food. And I understand it's fresh too. It's all this stuff, and yeah, and it's not necessarily bad for us. But my main point when it comes to diet is when you open up the fridge and go, what do I want to eat? You're basically saying, what do I want to put on my tongue? And it was, what do I think tastes good? We're driven by taste. We don't open up the fridge and go, I think I need to make my body more alkaline. What can I list? Well, as a matter of fact, I do. My wife has a list on the fridge, which is like a constant reminder for me too. I think we both use it, but it's got a list of all the foods that help keep your body more alkaline. It's like, okay, raw cabbage, lemons, whatever. So it's like a reminder, because I'm the same as anybody else. I love good food. I love chocolate cake. I like whatever. But what I'm saying is if you live your life by taste, eventually it's going to catch up to you. And as much as our bodies are really adaptable and they can roll with the punches, eventually it's going to catch up to you. And that's what happens a lot to a lot of people. So what they told me was just some simple things to keep, and this was like 20 years ago. And myself, okay, well, I'll give you the hint. I started looking up longevity, like how do people live longer? And I came across some interesting stories about the original indigenous people from Hawaii. I don't think they necessarily counted their ages like we do now. It's like, okay, you live to 100 years old or whatever. But some of these people were like really old, 150 years old or whatever, and they're really healthy people. And I thought to myself, well, what's their secret? Well, as usual, before the Europeans went over there and told them how to eat the way Europeans eat, is they would just eat fish and vegetables and fruit, a lot of fruit. So I thought, okay, that's cool. So in my little head, my little voice in my head said, just if you could be a juicer kind of guy, you'll live a long time. So, and also so I looked for the juices with the most antioxidants, and yeah, one of the ones that they kind of told me to do all the time, and luckily I really like it, is pink grapefruit juice. Lemons are obviously really good for you too, but I'm just saying that, yeah. So for me, I've been very healthy for my age, but like I said, I've never even seen a doctor for well over 15 years now, because I don't want to play. And when I say I don't want to play the doctor game, is I'm going to switch gears here. So it's diet, yeah, okay, but it's also, I call it the doctor game, which is, what are we programmed to think of? Okay, every year get a checkup, and also we're also told every year get just a little bit older, things can go wrong, whatever. That's what we're told. Well, guess what? When you're told that in your ear, it goes inside your brain, and you're told you're getting older every day. The odds of getting sick are always out there. You got to come in for a checkout. There might be something wrong. That goes in your brain, and guess what? Your computer is hooked into Earth and hooked into your avatar, and you're programming yourself. We're programmers. We're writing our own code. So by them doing that, you get sick every year, go for a checkup. She's getting older. I eat for taste because I don't eat for my body. I eat whatever I think is good, whatever. So you do that for 30, 40 years, and it's going to start catching up on you, and that's what happens. Okay, that's what happens to you physically, and then what makes things worse is there is actual ill intent out there. Like take, for instance, fluoride in our water, our GMO foods. There's people, but they're not even really people to be honest. That's another story. But you have entities out there that they're trying to make us ill and sick and hurt ourselves, and just like whatever. It's not a good scene at all. So surviving this matrix is not an easy task at all. And yeah, you got to understand how it works. So now that I've kind of laid out some of the basics, whatever. So as far as healing yourself, and I've told this to a friend of mine, is you have to, and I physically do say this to myself. Like when I look in the mirror, I'm going, boy, you're getting younger every day. You're healthy. It's because it's like an audible programming. So I purposely program my body to stay young, stay healthy. And I basically say right to the mirror, I said, you're never going to get cancer. So sure enough, I'm not going to get cancer. I mean, it's a combination of physical, because this is a physical avatar. You have to physically take care of it, as well as mentally. So basically mentally is half the battle. So as silly as it sounds, okay, I'll even give you one that I just did lately. Is I had a really bad toothache to the point where I was thinking, I'm going to probably have to get it pulled. What I did was I said to myself, because it's my avatar, and this is like a little over 2 months ago, I basically said, I don't want to feel any more pain. I said, and help heal my teeth. Teeth can be healed. It's a slower process, I know, because they're pretty rock solid. And if you look up, even on the internet, you'll find ways of fixing your teeth. A lot of this stuff is they try to not put out there. They don't want us to know this stuff. But anyway, so I basically told myself, no, I don't want to get it pulled after all. I'm just going to fix it because the pain was so heavy. So I decided to take away the pain. Okay, I know this sounds unbelievable, but I'm saying I have no pain anymore. And I kind of forget about it because I have a busy life, but every other day or something, I'll remind myself, okay, teeth, get healed, fix my teeth, fix this cavity here. Now, whether I'm physically telling it to, which I believe I am, I'm physically telling it to maybe even just stay in check, let alone, don't get worse. I'm also still waking up to my abilities of healing too, and I've actually tried that on people. I'm still a doubter in some ways, but I'm just saying I tried on myself, and I tried even long distance. I tried to heal people in my thoughts because I realized, you don't have to have a physical connection necessarily to heal people from a distance too. But when you touch them, yeah, I've healed by touching some people, but I'm not Mr. Healer or something. Like I said, I'm just waking up to how these systems work. But as usual, one of the harder things for us to get over with that is our doubt, because we're so programmed. And I explained that to another person a few years ago. I said, what's difficult is we have to rewrite the programming in our head. Can you imagine having a whole lifetime of, it's like, you're going to get sick, put your jacket on, you're going to get sick. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. We're being constantly bombarded with, you're going to get sick and you're getting old. I'm getting too old for this. Like, we keep hearing that over and over again. How about don't listen to that, first of all, and then start saying the opposite. So because we all have doubts in our mind, so we have to try to reverse that information in our computer. I mean, I wish we could just physically just take it out and then reprogram it with positive stuff. Hello, again, it's about being positive. So, okay, I'm going to end it there. So, I'm saying ultimately what I'm saying, you guys, is we have the power within us and on Earth. Terra has got all the makings of keeping our bodies really, really, really healthy. We have to basically try to stay away from the people that are lying to us. They're saying you're getting older. Guess what happens? You have a bunch of people that are going, oh, my back is sore, I'm this, I'm that, I'm getting sick, Why? Because you were told that. Don't listen to them. I'm not joking. It's exactly like listen to the media. Just go, no, I'm not listening to it. No, but we're so programmed. And that's literally what that word means. We're our own computers, and we can program. We're gonna have to reprogram our own computers. So I just said that in a silly way, but okay, stay positive. I'll do another video about different topics.